Hello fellow YouTubers, and welcome to this, the second episode of Emphysema Man the series. In this episode I'm going to talk about the prescriptions that I use, alternative that I've tried, and supplements as well. When I had my first periods of shortness of breath, which was in my late 50s, I paid a visit to my doctor. He listened to my chest and he gave me a peak flow test and he diagnosed asthma. And for asthma he prescribed Ventolin. It goes under the name here in Australia, Asmol. It's just an inhaler you can use several times a day, a couple of puffs each, and I use it to this very day. In fact I take an inhaler with me wherever I go. It's handy when you have minor shortness of breath episodes. It does help. For a major breathless episode, no, it doesn't help at all. And then a few years later, when I was diagnosed with emphysema, the results of a chest x-ray that showed scarring of the lungs, my doctor prescribed two medications. One was Spiriva, which is a once-a-day preventative, and also Serotype, this is called an Accuhaler, and you can use it twice a day, or I used to use it twice a day. The first thing in the morning, along with Spiriva, and before I went to bed. But now, because my breathlessness became more profound, was happening more often, for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been using Fibro. It's a once a day preventative, and I inhale it first thing in the morning. I weigh this little inhaler, and you just put a little capsule in and you press it. And probably many of you are familiar with Fibro. Although it's only supposed to be used once a day, there have been a few times when I've experienced profound breathlessness episodes to the point of panic that I have used this again. And it does help. It really does help. I also use salbutamol, which it comes in a little capsule form that is for use in a nebulizer, and this can prove beneficial. There are times when I will use the nebulizer 2 or 3 times a day, and this does help. Salbutamol in a nebulizer I can highly recommend. Now, because of the success of Emphysema Man, the movie, I've had a lot of comments about different alternatives, and one in particular was recommended by several sufferers of emphysema, and that was NAC. It's actually called N-acetylcysteine, and it comes in 4 forms. There's it can be taken intravenously, in tablet form, in an oral liquid form, and what I tried was the acetylcysteine in these little 4 ml vials. Unfortunately, it's not on the pharmaceutical benefit scheme here in Australia, and as a result, these 10 little vials, it comes in 10 little vials. Each vial contains 4 ml, and that was $95. I have tried it. It does what it is supposed to do. It is basically prescribed for people with cystic fibrosis to be used via a nebulizer, and because it loosens up mucus, and it does that very well. But it doesn't help my lungs. It does make my nose very runny. I know it's no joking matter, and it does have a very acidic smell. To me it smells like battery acid, and it even tastes like the smell of battery acid. I won't be buying it again because I don't think it's beneficial for me, but it may be beneficial for you. I also use some supplements. I suffer from some tummy problems now and then, or maybe intestinal problems, so I take this is Nature's Way probiotic, and it's supposed to put good bacteria in your system. And yes, I can recommend it. I can notice the difference while taking it, 1 capsule a day. And I take an over 50s multivitamin. It has a little benefit. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. But the trouble is with alternatives is that they're very expensive. I think this container of Centrum multivitamins, which there are 120 tablets, it's close to $50 Australian. I also take Nature's Own triple strength garlic plus sea horseradish. This is a supplement that helps reduce the severity of colds and influenza, and of course everything, the association with cold and influenza is that you produce a lot of mucus and that sort of thing. It's supposed to be just overall for your general well-being. I don't think I'll be buying these again because I don't think they make any difference to me, but they may help you. They're also, I had a comment received after someone watched Emphysema Man the movie only recently, and this individual suggested 4 different supplements, and I may give them a try. Glucose iodine, copper in capsule form, and you must take zinc in order for the copper to work, a vitamin A, and liposomal vitamin C. They also suggested colloidal silver. Silver has been known for its healing properties for hundreds if not thousands of years. And colloidal silver are microscopic particles of silver in a liquid, and it can be ingested orally, of course. So I may very well try these things, I don't know. But above all, it's up to you, fellow emphysema sufferers, to try these things, because who knows? What doesn't work for me may very well work for you, and vice versa. And lastly, now and then I have days where I suffer from nausea. And I have found that Alisooth, which is also known as Phenergan, which is an antihistamine, also can be used for treatment of seasickness. And because of that, it helps with my nausea. Now, as you well know, all medications come with side effects, and Alisooth is no exception. For me, at least, and the main side effect for me from taking 1 tablet is it makes my legs ache. Now, it takes several hours before my legs start to ache, but it does make my legs ache. I did some time ago, because I was having a particularly bad day of nausea, I took 2 tablets, and a few hours later my legs ached like you wouldn't believe. They absolutely drove me nuts. So for me, this is good for nausea. It also relaxes you a little bit, so it can help you to sleep. But for me, it has that one side effect of making my legs ache. And remember, this is what we're all going to look like one day. So do as I do. Make the most of your life while you can, one day at a time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye for now. I also take triple strength garlic plus C horseradish. This is supposed to be beneficial as a what is it beneficial for?